Hi everyone, today I have another video for you. This is a continuation on my last video, which was the blue BOA control goddess, right? And this is an updated version, updated deck list that I think can compete in OP-12, you know, depending on the matchup. Of course, we still do bad against Blackbeard, but that's neither here or there. But let's just get right into this deck list and I'll explain some of the changes towards the end. Okay, so first we have our leader. It's a 5 life. During your turn, once per turn, BOA Hancock 5k power. Activate this when a character leaves play from one of your abilities. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, draw 1 card. So let's get into the card list. First up, we have our first 2k. It's the Kaya. Draw 2, trash 2. Good on play to cycle cards out. Mainly used as a 2k. Next up, we have our searcher for the deck. It's the Sengoku. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1/7 Warlords of the Sea type and add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of the deck. It's a 1-cost searcher. Very good to have, especially because we have more 7 Warlords of the Sea now that we can search up with this. Next up, we got our first chump blocker, which is the Trafalgar Law 1-cost. Just a 1-cost blocker. You know, it's just there to help save you from using too many cards or just being able to stay alive for one more round, right? Next up, we have our second 2k. It's the Buggy. Buggy is a 2k counter, 1-cost. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then you place them in any order on the top of your deck. Alright, so it's just to look into the future and a good target for some of the other cards that we have here, like the Law or the Jozu later on, to be able to use the effect of the card and your leader ability. So next up, we have our last and final chump blocker. It's the 3-cost Doflamingo, 4000 power. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. So just good to see what you have coming up. If you don't like what you have coming up, put it on the bottom. If you do, draw into what you want. And it's a really good chump blocker. Next up, we have our Charlotte Pudding. Of course, like any other blue deck, we run 2 of the 4-cost 4k Charlotte Pudding. On play, your opponent returns all their cards to their hand and then they draw 5 cards. Okay, so if they have a lot of cards in their hand, which a lot of OP-12 leaders are able to do, they just return all of that and they're back to 5 again. Next up, we have our final 2k counter. It's going to be the Crocodile, 4-cost, 5000 power. On play, rest 1 Dawn. Return up to 1 2-cost or lower character to the owner's hand. Next up, we have our first form of removal, which is going to be the 4-cost, 5000 power Law. Counter 1000. On play, return one of your characters to your hand, and then if your leader has the 7 Warlords of the Sea, return a 1-cost 4 or lower character to the owner's hand. Really good effect. You know, use this for early game. We'll explain what our curves are and what we want, like I said at the end of this video. So let's go to the next card. It's the 6-cost BOA Hancock, 8000 power. This is just to freeze one of your opponents to buy you time or to, you know, stop them from doing more damage to you for a round or so. Its on play is up to one of your opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of their next turn. Then you bottom deck one of their 1-cost 1 or less characters, okay? So it's really good, especially because some OP-12 leaders do have 1-cost chump blockers that you can just bottom deck, right? Get rid of so you don't have to worry about it. So really good card, but we only run 2 of those. Now every card after here we run 3 of, just because I think each card is just really good in this deck. We have the 6-cost 7000 power Jozu, 1000 counter. Basically on play, you return one of your characters and then you return a 6-cost or lower character to the owner's hand. Really good card, too bad it's not searchable. Next up, we have the 7-cost 7000 power Don Quixote Doflamingo. You return a character with a cost of 7 or less to the owner's hand, okay? Just to stall more time. It doesn't have counter though, but it is searchable with the Sengoku. Next, a very welcome addition I think to this deck list is the 8-cost 8000 power Rush Luffy. Okay, from OP-11. When attacking, you trash 1 card from your hand and then return 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, and you attach 1 rested Dawn to a leader or character. Really good card, really good all-around card, able to set off your leader ability too. Next up, we have our 9-cost 9k Dracul Mihawk, another searchable body. What it does is on play, place 1 character with a cost of 7 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So you're bottom decking one of their characters, and 9000 power, come on. Next up, we have our biggest body in this entire deck. It's the 10 cost, still like we had from the last deck list, right? We still kept this in. It's the 10 cost 12,000 power Kaido. on play, return an 8 cost or less character and a 3 cost or less character to the owner's hand. Up next, I have the 2 events that we have, and we always run these events, of course. I was debating whether to have a Perfume Femur, but I don't know how to make space for the Perfume Femur in this deck. It is a good card, and I think it would work well, but especially because it's searchable, right? But I think this is fine in its own, because like I said, we'll get into it in a bit. First event counter is first event that we have is Gum Gum Red Rock. It's a 6 cost, basically bottom deck any character of your opponent's, right? Really good. So we run 2 of those, and our last removal is the 7 cost Gravity Blade. So you put 2 6 cost or less characters at the bottom of the owner's deck. Really good. Like I was saying just a little bit ago, I think there's space for Perfume Femur. I just don't know what to get rid of. Either it's going to be 1 or 2 chump blockers or 1 pudding. Just because we do use the pudding sometimes, but we rarely find ourselves using it. Or you can get, yeah, I think getting rid of a chump blocker in space for Perfume Femur would be fine too. I'd have to test that. But this so far, this deck list I've tested, and I think it runs really great. It's not the best, of course, but it's still great. And so the curve that you want, whether you go first or second, I think it's very dependent on the matchup. I think BOA goes great first or second, no matter what, because of the fact that you have bodies for each curve. It doesn't really matter, right? Just make it depend on the matchup. If your opponent wants to go first or second, just take that from them, so you have more of an advantage, right? And they have a disadvantage. But essentially, this is the new deck list. Curves would go like turn 1, Searcher, or if you want to cycle cards, you can with the Kaya, or do a search with the Sengoku, or play out a chump blocker, or just look at the top 3 of your deck, right, to set it up. And then next turn, on your 3 Dawn turn, you play the Doflamingo, of course, if you have it. If not, you just swing or play more of these searchers or blockers or whatever. And then once you get to your 5 Dawn turn, you play the Law, bring back one of the searchers or Kayas that you played out, or a Buggy. And then you're essentially just wasting the opponent's time into bringing their characters back to hand, so they have to spend more resources to bring out bodies. So then you can use the Boa Hancock, or just go for the Jozu. After that, you're on your 7 Dawn turn, or with the Doflamingo, return a 7 or less, or return a 6 or less, right? Then you're at 9, you can play the Mihawk or the Luffy, and then you're at 10, then you can just play the Kaido, or Red Rock or Gravity Blade. You're just returning characters constantly, and you guys will see that in the gameplay. I think this is a really fun deck. I hate that the newer cards all have some form of removal protection, right? And so it kind of sucks, especially because BOA is such a fun deck, I personally think. But you still have good matchups out there, and when you're able to pull it off just right, like you'll see in some of these games, you play the Law, return a card, they play that same card out, you put the Jozu out, they try to play a different card this time, you put the Doflamingo out or the Mihawk out, and then it's just hell for them. So it's a really fun game, and so let's get into it. All right, everyone, we have our first game here. It's against Green Jewelry Bonney, really good in OP-12. So let's just get right into the games. We mulligan this, I think, or we can keep it too, but I think it's because we didn't see any good low body power characters, low cost characters, so we mulligan, and it's perfect. We get 3 2Ks, we have the Doflamingo to set up, we have the Law to bring back, and we have the Rush Luffy. So they take first, we play out the Buggy here, check the top 3 of our deck, see what we want to draw into. We draw into the Jozu, we pass it back over to them, they swing at us. I think we counter out of this, but it's fine to take 2, not bad. I would have countered out just so we can use our leader ability next turn, but we get the Dracula Mihawk though from our life, so perfect. We have a good curve coming. They play out the Tashigi 3 cost to protect their future bodies, so we go ahead and play the Law out to take the Buggy back to our hand and get rid of that Tashigi, so they have to spend more Dawn or more resources wasted on bringing that body out if they want to, right? So pass the turn, get rid of it. They attack into us, we counter out for sure, right? That we should, because we have 6 cards in our hand and our leader ability won't work. So they bring out the Smoker. Okay, perfect. Guess what? We have a Jozu. We're on our 6th Dawn turn. So we swing for 5 first, swing for 5 again. Oh, but they rest it. That's right. This is Bonney. I forget. Bring the Jozu out so they can't swing into the Law. Take the Law and then bring the Smoker back to their hand, right? So now they bring out the Cavendish. Okay, perfect. We counter out of this to get as low as we can. Swing 7 with our biggest power body first, and then they rest our leader. We'll take the Luffy, rush Luffy, attack into them, trash a card, bring the Tashigi back to hand, attach arrested, swing for 9, use our leader ability. They're at 2 life, right? So they went down real quick. They counter out of that one. Okay, they still have the Cavendish on board. Then they bring out a 9 cost Zoro. Okay. Really good, I think, but it's a little too late because they weren't able to develop a board at all, right? So they swing for 6. We counter out of this for sure. Okay, we have 5 cards in hand. They swing again. We counter out of this also. No reason not to. Yep. Now we have 4 cards in hand and our leader ability will work next game. And we're on our 9 Dawn turn, so we can use that Mihawk on the Cavendish, right? Or we could also Red Rock the Zoro to get rid of it. I think that's what we do. So we wait for our opponent. They pass it over. We're at 10 Dawn actually. Sorry, not 9 Dawn. We Red Rock the Zoro so they can't attack into us. Use our leader ability. We attach some Dawn to Luffy, I'm pretty sure, to attack into their Cavendish to get rid of it. They rest the Jozu. They counter out. We attach the rest of the Dawn. Attack Cavendish for 9. They counter out. 2 cards in hand. Okay, cool. We took a lot of their resources. They're spending time wasting resources, and we're over here taking it away from them, right? So they get the Bartholomew blocker out. They attack for 8. We counter out of this with the Croc. 9. They swing again for 11. We let this go. I don't think we can counter out. Perfect. Okay, cool. Now we have a choice to do the Mihawk or the Doflamingo. I think we play the Mihawk out here and get rid of the Cavendish, right? But the blocker's a good option too. But we do get rid of the Cavendish. Perfect. Now we have 2 Dofis and 2 2Ks. Attach the last of our Dawn. Swing at leader. They rest our Mihawk. That's fine. They take. They're at 1 life. We still have 2 big bodies on our board. They attach the rest of their Dawn, right, after playing 1 blocker, and hit our Jozu instead of our Mihawk. So we let it go. No reason to save it. We swing for 9 first. Always swing first against Jewelry Bonney, remember that, because she's gonna end up resting one of your characters. But here she doesn't have any Dawn up, so that's good for us. But just remember that. Always attack with your bigger bodies first. That way she rests the second biggest, and then you swing with the next, right? Swing for 9. She takes. Okay. Doflamingo, get rid of one of their blockers and send it back to their hand. Then we place a blocker of our own, fix our top deck. Perfect. We're getting a Mihawk next. Good. Pass it back over. We have a blocker, a 7k and a 9k power body on board. They use the 9 cost Shanks to get rid of our Mihawk. Okay, cool. They swing into us for 5. I think we can counter out of this safely. Cool. They have 1 Dawn left. I think here we swing first, right? Instead of bottom decking. But we do bottom deck the blocker, I think. I think we should have attacked first though. Cool. Use our leader ability. We swing for 7, of course. They rest our blocker, or I think they rest us so we can't attack, right? They have to counter out of this. So they do rest our leader. Okay. Our blocker is still up. That's fine. Let's pass it back over. We have 3 big bodies. They attack for 11. I think we can safely block out of this and not let it go, but we do let it go. I think we should have blocked out, honestly, and that it would have been fine. They play out 2 more Bartholomew blockers, right? We play the Monkey D. Luffy. Sorry. We play the BOA so the Shanks can attack us again to save us a turn. And so we attack with the Mihawk, go for 9. They block out. They rest our... Of course, they rest our leader so we can attack with it. So what we decide is we'll just swing with the blocker too. We feel safe. They only have 1 or 2 swings next turn and we're fine. So attach the rest of our Dawn. Swing for 8. They have to either counter or block, so they do block. Now we pass it back over to them, but they can't attack with the Shanks. They have 10 Dawn. What do? 3 cards left in hand, right? We have our decent board still set up, and I think we're ready to go for game next turn. Our opponent plays the Rosinante blocker and a Hody Jones, okay? Rests our body, 2 of our bodies. We counter out of this one. They swing for 5 into our Doflamingo, counter out. They swing for 8. We let it go. Okay. And they just about give up here. Because, you know, we're just going to remove their blocker from hand. And we have two attacks because they're going to rest one of our bodies. But we have 2 attacks and that would be GG. So, all in all, really great game. Goes to show what you can do controlling the board with Boa Hancock. Okay, so let's move on to our next game. Okay, we have our second game here, everyone. It's against Yellow Kalgara. Really good deck, gets lots of support, especially in the OP-12. So we're here to show off what Boa can do against it. Alright, we play out the chump blocker. Our enemy decides to go first. Play out the chump blocker, pass it back. They swing into us for 6. I'm pretty sure we take this because we don't want to lose 2 cards. Let's see if they play out a body, which I don't think so. We take this, of course, we get the 9-Hawk. Okay, perfect. Next turn, I think we play the Law. Or even the blocker. I think the blocker Doflamingo is better. That way we can set up what we're going to draw. Thinking about putting there, but swing for 5. If they do take this, I think it's not a bad idea to put in. Perfect, because we can bring it back up with the Law or the Jozu next turn. So we get rid of their hand really early putting, right? Although we do have another putting coming. So, you know, it's not really a waste because we know we have another one. But we can also pick this back up with a Jozu, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, they play out the upper yard. Do a search. Okay, they attach 2 Dawn to their leader. Swing into us for 7. I think they play out a body here. Yep. Attack into us for 7. We don't counter this, we block. They don't play out a body. Okay. Looks like they don't have an Ohm or anything like that. They pass it back over to us. We're on our 6th Dawn turn. We play out the Law, or we can play out the Jozu too for a big body, but we end up playing the Doflamingo blocker, set up our draw for the next turn. So we have a big body Dofa coming and a 2K. We keep it on top, attach Dawn, swing for 6, and then attach the rest of our Dawn to pudding and swing for 6 again. Okay. Cool. They're at 3 life. They attach 2 more Dawn to their leader. Swing 7 into the pudding. Play out the wiper. I think we counter out of this. Maybe not. Or we could block. No, we just let it go. No reason to, right? We have another one coming anyways if we really need to. So they play out the Ohm finally. Unfortunately, they don't have a Holly, I don't think, because look, they put a Holly in their trash. So they didn't find a Holly from the search. They pass it back over to us. Okay, so they have 2 big bodies on board, good for them. We deployed the Doflamingo here. Return the wiper to their hand. Attack for 6. Now they wasted a turn bringing that wiper out. Although, you know, Kalgara's ability is really strong, but they do have to take the top of their life in exchange for it. They counter out of this one, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they're gonna want to go any lower, especially if they're going to use their leader ability. But we'll see. Yep, they counter out. Perfect. Pass it back over to them. They're on their 9 Dawn turn. They attach 2. Swing into us for 7. I think they bring out a... I'm not sure what would they bring out in this turn. Another big body. They attach 2 more Dawn, swing for 9. Block out of this one. They bring out the wiper that we returned to their hand, right? But now they're down to 1 life, sadly. But they do have 2 bodies on board now. Attach 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. They swing 9 into us. We take. And then they put out another searcher. The Shura searcher, sorry. They get the wiper from the search. Okay. And they pass it back to us. We're on our 10 Dawn turn. We swing for 5 first, and then we swing for 7. I think we can bring out the Kaido here safely. Swing for 7. But it wouldn't hurt to bottom deck their wiper also. So they get rid of a 2K and a big body. But we do end up doing the Kaido here, right? Get rid of the wiper and then Ashura, I guess. But I think we just get rid of the wiper. No need to give them another search. Yep, use the Kaido. Get rid of the wiper. We're thinking maybe we can get rid of the Ohm, but no. So we do give them back Ashura. I don't think we should have, honestly. I think it would have been fine if we didn't, because that's a 1k counter and a searcher in their hand. But it's fine. We pass it back over to them. They attach Thon for their leader ability, but I don't think they can, right? They need to take a life. I'm not really sure how Kalgara works. But they can. They play out the 6 cost Kalgara, the 8k power body, right? So even if you don't have life, you can still play out bodies. They have 9 more Dawn left to be able to bring out another body, maybe some blockers if they can. Otherwise, it's just GG, right? So they do heal with the Kuma. Perfect. They have 3 Dawn left. Although it does look like we can go for game next turn, right? They bring out the Shuracy. This is what I was talking about. We give them another search. They take the 2k Kalgara. They swing for 6 into us. I think we counter out of this. They can't swing at us anymore, so they pass it back. Okay, perfect. We'll swing at them for 5. I think they counter out. No reason why they shouldn't. They use Elthor to counter out. Now we swing 7 with the Doflamingo. They don't have any blockers. That's really too bad. I'm surprised they don't run some of the other Sky Island blockers that are there. Swing for 7. I think they end up taking this. Maybe because they didn't have counter in hand. Yeah, I think they do end up taking this. Because if they do, we just attach all 10 Dawn to Kaido and swing 22. No way they can counter out of that, especially with no Dawn. So they do counter out of this. Bring the Mihawk out, get rid of that big body Kalgara for sure. Swing into the Ohm first. Now they don't have counter to use, right? And then I think we use the Mihawk to get rid of the Kalgara here. Let me check if this is on 2 times speed real quick. Okay. So we do play out 1 chump blocker after that. Use all 10 Dawn. We do bring out the Mihawk, like I said, to get rid of the Kalgara. They swing into us here. They heal first with the Norland, right? Cool. Swing into us for 6. I think we can safely counter out, but we can also block. Yep, counter out. Perfect. They swing for 7. Attach 1, 8. So we take. We can use it on the Norland, right? So we use the Gravity Blade trigger on the Norland, get rid of it. They end up having to attach Dawn to the Shura just to attack into us for 5. We counter out. We could have blocked 2, that's fine, but I think this is GG now. We swing, attach all our Dawn, and just swing for 22, right? Because they have no blockers. So, you know, good GG to our opponent. They had 2 Norlands in hand. I don't know why they didn't use those sooner. Maybe they got it from life or they top decked it, but easy game, right? Good on our Kalgara for surviving and staying the entire match, honestly, because right, it's kind of annoying to play against a control deck where all your cards are just being put to the bottom of the deck or put back to your hand. So GG to our opponent here. Let's go on to the next game. All right, everyone, we're up against a OP-12 leader here, right? Another meta deck, just like the Bonney from a while ago. And so it's Silver's Rayleigh. Let's get right into the game. We have a decent starting hand. We can play out both of our blocker laws since we took second from them, right? This is what I was saying, where you take whatever the opponent wants. So we went ahead and chose to go second, so they can't play out their Luffy early. Take it from them, play out the 2 chump blockers, pass it back over. That way we have a target for our Trafalgar Law, so we can return one of their cards next turn, right? They're thinking here. I think they give +2 to Buggy, right? Confirm the revealed card, swing into us for 6. We take this. Looks like we choose to block out. We could have taken that too easy. I don't think we were too worried, but I think we were kind of thinking we should play it on the safer side. But they attack for 5. We take, finally, because we knew they had 2 attacks, right? Now we have the Law. Swing into the Buggy first, see if they take it. If they do, we play out the Law to take the blocker back and send the Buggy back to their hand, right? So decent turn just to delay them, just to, you know, have us survive another round. They bring out, weirdly enough, Tanaka-san. I haven't seen a deck list that runs this, but it's a 3-cost 3k blocker, and the trigger is play the card. So our opponent here is kind of running a weird deck list. You'll see a little later on why I say it's weird, because he has other cards also that don't make sense to be in this deck. But we counter out of the 5k swing, right? They have 1 Dawn up, they pass it back to us. We swing for 5 into them, swing for 5 again. They counter out with the Conqueror's Hockey. We bottom deck one of their cards just because there's nothing else we can really do, right? So we get rid of the Buggy. They have the blocker left. We accidentally passed turn, but I think we should have swung 5 into them. I don't know why we didn't, but that was a misplay. They get the Gum Gum Mole Gun from their search with the Boa Hancock, and they get a guard point from the Boa Hancock search, right? So attach 2 Dawn, swing for 7. We take here. We don't have another 1k to counter out with because we only have big bodies. And they pass it back over to us. They keep their boas in hand. So we play out a... I think we play out the monkey... No, we play out the Doflamingo here and bottom deck or return the blocker to their hand. That's perfectly fine. Swing for 5 and then swing for 5 again. We also could have Josu'd, take our blocker back and get rid of one of their Boa Hancocks, right? Or even the blocker itself. That's another way we could have played this, but I think this is fine too. Swing for 5. They're still at 5 life. Who knows when they're gonna take. Okay, they counter out again with a guard point. Fine with us. We pass it over to them. We have 2 good bodies on board. They spend Dawn again, bringing out their blocker. Attach 2 Dawn to the Boa Hancock. Pretty sure they use leader ability on the other one and then crack this one to attach 2 more Dawn to the other Boa. So they reveal, give it to, yep, the Boa, 5k. They swing 5 at us. I think we counter out of this. Here's a misplay on their end. They end up cracking the Boa too early. They should have attacked into us first with 5, cracked it, give the 2 rusted to the other Boa, and then swing for 7. But, you know, maybe they purposely did that. I'm not really sure, but they did do that on mistake. They swing 5 into our Law. I forget why it's a 5k. Let's go back a bit. So they Gum Gum Mole Gunned our Law, okay? And they should have swung with that Boa right there that they just trashed to get 2 rested on. They should have swung with that first, and they could have swung twice at our leader. But I think it was a mistake on their end. They probably weren't really thinking about it, or there's just too much math, right? So anyways, they swing the Boa into our Law, which got Gum Gum Mole Gun, but they couldn't KO it. So we get rid of that, let it go, we don't block. They swing 7 at us. We block out of this one. Perfect, they don't crack the Boa at all, so they leave it vulnerable, right? So we use the Kaido to return both the blocker and the Boa to their hand. Now we have 2 big bodies on board while they have none, right? So really poor on our Rayleigh here. We swing for 5 and then we swing for 7. I think they counter out here. Yep, they counter out and then we swing for 7. They should be taking. Yep, they should take. They're at 4 life now. We pass it back over. Perfect. They bring out the 2-cost Luffy and another blocker. See, they're just wasting resources on bringing out the same card, right? And that's what this deck does, just makes you waste resources. They use the Divine Departure, or I think they trash it, right? For what reason? I forget where that Divine Departure was from, but they do 2 searches with Observation Hockey, right? So they attach 2 active Dawn to their Rayleigh leader. And now they attach 1 more Dawn, okay, to do another search. They got 2 more blockers and the 2k Sanji from their hand. So they attack into our Doflamingo. We counter out because we have a 2k. They don't have any other attacks. Perfectly fine. We draw into the Kaido again. We get rid of both of those bodies that they just played, and now we have 2 12ks on board while they have nothing, right? So swing for 5. They counter out of this, I'm pretty sure. Swing for 7. They take. Oh, they take this 5k. Swing for 7. They take, and we swing for 12. And they might just take this one too. And that's GG next game. I mean next round, sorry, not next game. So they do take, they're at 1 life. We pass it back over to them. They have so many cards in hand. Now would be a great time to putting them, but that's fine. We don't have it. They have the Rush Zoro and they bring out 2 of the Monkey D. Luffys. I was thinking, why haven't they brought out the 4-cost Luffy yet, right? And it's because they didn't find it till late, I don't think, or it was in their life. But they bring out the 3-cost blocker Tanaka, swing for 5 at us, we counter out of this, okay? No reason not to. Okay, so now we're on our, I think this is the final turn, we can definitely go for lethal here. No reason not to, so we bring out the Luffy, attack into their leader and trash a card to get rid of their Tanaka and attach 1 rested to our Monkey D. Luffy and swing for 9. So we do swing for 9. They end up countering out of this, I think. No, they do take. And so we swing for 12 and then they give up. They could have countered out of this. Now, they could have countered out of the 9k, I'm pretty sure. 2, 4, 5, yeah. But they would have lost anyways. And you see there, they do have the 4-cost Luffy. I think they just didn't get it till late, maybe. But all in all, a really good game. We were able to beat Silver's Rayleigh. Maybe it's not the conventional deck list, but we were still able to beat an aggro deck, right? And it would be the same concept as if they did bring out the Rush Luffy, we could have just gotten rid of it and put it back in their hands, right? Although I don't think we'd want to be putting the 4-cost Luffy back into their hand just because that lets them develop more bodies. And so we'd try to attack into those Luffys, the 4-cost Luffys, and, get rid of the other bodies. So really quick game here. Let's go on to the last match, okay? Okay, everyone, we're in our last match. It's against Blue-Purple Luffy, all right? And this deck list that we're going up against, it's post pairing ban, so they don't have the 9-lin or the Katakuri, right? So anyways, BOA still is pretty good against this, weirdly enough, but even though they do have bigger bodies that we can't remove as well. So they go ahead, we take first from them, they go second. They they do a misplay here. Play out their gear 2 thinking that they can ramp with it, but you need 3 Dawn. That's why you always need to read your cards, always be careful. So they wasted the gear 2, that's fine. We play out the Doflamingo and then fix our top deck. We put this on top. No, we put it on the bottom, okay. Just because 2 searchers and 1 10 cost. I think we should have, that would have been okay too, but that's alright. So we pass it back over to them because we can't attack into them. Okay, let's see what they do here. They attack 6 into us. I think we counter out here, easy. 2k. Yep, get rid of it. Let's see what they play out. Maybe a Bon Cray. Nope, nothing. They can't ramp, right? So that's all right for us. We'll play out the Kaya, draw 2, trash 2 to cycle our cards, then play out the Law to bring the Kaya back. So we have a 2k. And, just to use our leader ability. We don't need to bring anything else back. They don't have anything, and it helps us develop a body. So 5 Dawn turn, we're going to be on our 7 Dawn next. Good for us because we have the Jozu in our hand. Okay, they play out the Nami, draw 3, put 2 on the top, I'm pretty sure here. They do put the cards on top, so they swing into us. I think they go for 7. No, they go for 6. We counter out here, I'm pretty sure. Yep. We want to stay alive as long as possible. We're on our 7 Dawn turn. We play out the Chump Blocker, bring the Jozu out, bring back the Chump Blocker, and send their Nami to their hand. So they still don't have a board while we develop characters, right? Now they're low power characters, but still they're characters nonetheless. They play out the Bon Cray, ramp 1. They're finally at their 8 Dawn turn. Now they're on 9. All right. They play out another Bon Cray. Now they have 10 Dawn, so they ramp twice. They attack into us for 7, I think, or maybe just 6. Save Dawn for counter. So they attack us for 6. We counter out with the Buggy. That's fine. Good on us. Okay, so we have the Mihawk, get rid of one of the Bon Crays, attack for 7. They counter out of this with the Thunder Bagua. Cool, perfectly fine. And then we pass the turn. We just developed the 9k body on board while bottom decking one of theirs, right? So they get the Gum Gum Red Rock from their search. They bring out the Sanji, that brings out the Luffy. Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine. They attack the Luffy into the Jozu, I'm pretty sure. Although I would do the Bon Cray to the Jozu first. Attack for 7 and then 8 or 9. So they attack into us instead for 9. We block. They use the Monkey D. Luffy to attack into us for 8. We take. Cool. Yep, 9 we take. Cool, we have 4 life, they're at 3 life still. They attack into us, we counter out with a 2k. Perfect. So let's swing into the Bonney first. They take this unless they want to just waste cards, which I don't think they do. I think we red rock the Sanji here, right? Swing 8 into the Luffy, or 9 into the Luffy, sorry, we had 2 Don. They take, we red rock the Sanji. Now they have no more bodies on board, total control, right? Attach the rest of our Don to Mihawk, swing for 10. They counter out of this one, weirdly enough, -2, draw 2. They trash the Nami, perfect. We pass it back over to them. They have no bodies anymore from 3 to 2, from 3 to 0, right, from last turn. And we still have our bodies on board. They red rock our Mihawk, perfectly fine. We still have a 7k on board, okay. They have 4 Don left to work with. They play the Bonney out. I think that's a mistake. I think they should have saved for events and whatnot. We counter out of this attack. We're still at a healthy 4 life. Cool, we do a search. We take the Doflamingo, play that out to return the Bonney, I'm pretty sure. Yep. We could have also used the Jozu to return the Sengoku to our hand, so we have another search. And then that also gets rid of the Bonney, but either one's fine. I think we just wanted to play, you know, whichever body. So we play out the chump blocker and then swing for 6 with our leader. They end up taking this, good, swing for 7. I think they end up taking this too, yep. They don't have any counter in their hand, maybe we're thinking. So that's fine. They go ahead and pass it over back to them. We go ahead and pass it over back to them. So they take the gear 2 from their search. Alright, they place everything back on top. They play out the Mihawk. They get rid of our Jozu. Cool. They're running the package in one of my videos, right? The Mihawk and the Rush Luffy that the Sanji can hit. So they bottom deck our Jozu. They swing into us for 6. I think we block out of this easy. We're still at a 4, healthy 4 life, I keep saying, right? So we go ahead and putting this, I'm pretty sure. Cool, they have 5 cards. We swing for 7. They take, and we just get a little cocky, and you know, we could have played another body out, but I think this was fine too. Just swing for game, see what they got, and it ends up working. It goes through because we putting them, and they'll have 2 Gum Gum Giants and only 1 2k and 1 1k, so a 3k. They, you know, GG to our opponent here. They did have a decent draw towards the end there, where they brought out the Sanji and then the Rush Luffy and then the Mihawk, right? But we just were able to control the board better than they could. And so all in all, these are all the games that I have for you today on this BOA deck list. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys were willing to test this deck list out. I think it's really strong. I love the BOA leader. I love blue, you know, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.